Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Smita ma'am. Good morning, Arundhati ma'am. Good morning. Good morning, you. Who else is pending? Yes, Faiza, Harshit, and Darshini. आ जाने दो उसको भी start कर ले. Charts clean रख लो. Good morning, Ranjit. नहीं नहीं वरुण रहने दो. ट्रेड बने रहने दो. 4 hours M2 मिनिमलिटी तक होल्ड करेंगे ऐसे. ये जोन. ओके. गुड मॉर्निंग पटेल. गुड मॉर्निंग फैजा. गुड मॉर्निंग हर्षित. Good morning, everyone. So let's remove. Today, anything special, sir? क्यों क्या हो गया? Hmm? Starting from daily time frame, guys. So at this current scenario, majorly आप लोगों को क्या आइडेंटिफाई करके चलना होगा? At the current state of action, हमें यहाँ पे आज के दिन के मोमेंट में विक जनरेट होते हुए नहीं दिखी है, राइट? जब मार्केट में विक जनरेट नहीं हुआ है, so इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन में we could expect a movement towards the short, then the continuity in the long again. तो इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन में मेजरली हमें क्या क्या फोकस करना होगा? पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट एज पर द प्रीवियस रेंज ऑफ एक्शन, राइट? सो प्रीवियस रेंज ऑफ एक्शन में मेजरली हमें तीन चीजों की नोटिस करके चलनी होगी. पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट ऑफ रीअलोकेशन पॉइंट्स, मतलब जब भी एक डिमांड जोन अलोकेट होती है, उस डिमांड जोन के साथ लिक्विडिटी स्ट्रक्चर बिल्ड होती है. जब तक वो लिक्विडिटी स्ट्रक्चर बिल्ड नहीं हुई है, डेफिनेटली मार्केट will tend to take a reversal and hunt the liquidity out. इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन में मेरा मेजर लिक्विडिटी जोन ऑफ एक्शंस क्या क्या है? सो वी विल स्टार्ट आइडेंटिफाइंग द पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. सो ये मेरा प्रीवियस डिमांड रेंज था. प्रीवियस डिमांड रेंज के साथ मार्केट टेंड टू गिव अ मूव. मार्केट में मूवमेंट कितना जनरेट होते हुए दिखी है हमें, राइट? एज पर द प्रीवियस इंड्यूसमेंट रेंज ऑफ एक्शन, प्रीवियस रेंज ऑफ इंड्यूसमेंट एक्शन को जब अलोकेट करेंगे, वी हैव ए डिमांड रेंज. डिमांड कितना होना चाहिए? जितना मेरा प्रीवियस सप्लाई है इन दिस सिनेरियो, उतने का ही मूवमेंट यहाँ पे जनरेट होते हुए दिखेगी, राइट? उसके साथ व्हाट डिड मार्केट टेंड टू डू? मार्केट टेंड टू ब्रेक द स्ट्रक्चर एंड कंटिन्यू with the same demand allocation. 100% complete है supply. With the 100% completion, we will mark out 150% and 200%. Right? जैसे ही ये level of allocations mark हुआ, what do you tend to see? A movement allocation as per the previous demand plan. यहाँ पे previous demand plan ये किस part of action से select करोगे? With this. Right? In this action moment, we have a reallocation spectrum. When the reallocation spectrum is generated, market will always tend to take a movement. With the movement action plan, we will continue the structure. With the structure continuity, मार्केट में क्या डेवलप होते हुए दिखी है? मार्केट में एक सरप्लस सप्लाई डेवलप होते हुए दिखी है. Where is the surplus supply at this point? This will act as my surplus supply because मेरा 200% complete नहीं हुआ है at this stage, correct? So what will be the next plan of action? We will allocate the surplus supply to the next demand allocation point. With the next demand allocation point, what do we notice? Market taking rejection from 200%, right? So with the 200% rejection, मेरा next plan of action क्या होना चाहिए at this current state? मेरा next plan of action यहाँ पे होगा कि what is the plan of action for this movement at first place? Right, each and every movement has a speculative move. Speculative move identify कैसे कर सकते हो? First will be your previous demand action rate. In this scenario, this will be my demand. This demand will act as my first rejection. As इस कैंडल में क्या नोटिस कर रहे हो? बॉडी नहीं है, indecisive candle है, correct? When the market tends to take an indecisive candle, the first allocation will be of this candle. ओके, उसके बाद मूवमेंट में जितना भी मूवमेंट आया है या ऊपर के लिए मूवमेंट आया है, दैट प्लान ऑफ एक्शन विल बी टेकन अंडर कंसिडरेशन. ठीक है, इसके साथ अभी हम नोटिस क्या कर रहे हैं? 100% क्लोजर होने के बाद कंप्लीट होके मार्केट कंटिन्यूटी में मूवमेंट दिया है. इन द कंटिन्यूटी ऑफ द मूवमेंट, व्हाट डिड मार्केट टेंड टू डू? Market tend to take a rejection of 200%, right? Post that plan of action, market यहाँ पे ब्रेक करके कंटिन्यू किया. यस, ब्रेक करके कंटिन्यू किया. अभी कौन सा अलोकेशन पॉइंट देखना चाहिए? जो मेजर अलोकेशन पॉइंट इन एक्शन है. The major allocation point in action is what? The previous action, right? With the previous action plan, what did market tend to do? Market tend to give a break of 100%. With 100%, 150% में buying allocation दिखने को मिली. जब 150% में buying allocation दिखने को मिली है, with that, what is the setup that market has created? Market has created S2B1 setup. S2B1 setup के साथ continuity in the movement. Right, when there is a continuity in the movement, what are the first plan of actions आप लोगों को notice करके चलना होगा? The first plan of action that you will be noticing is the previous action plan. मतलब क्या आपका allocation इस point of interest के साथ होना चाहिए या आपका allocation इस point of interest से होना चाहिए? राइट, सो यहाँ पे डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज. हमेशा एक ही चीज याद रखना, जब भी मूवमेंट एक्शन प्लान में डेवलपमेंट दिखने को मिलती है, उस समय पे एक सर्कुलेटिंग मूवमेंट अलोकेशन दिखने को मिलेगी. राइट, सर्कुलेटिंग मूवमेंट एक्शन प्लान मतलब whenever there is a speculative movement, with the speculative movement two action plan gets generated. With the two action plan, 150% and 200% will be the target range. Right, in this scenario, what do we notice? We have a 100% closure. With the 100% closure, market continuity. With the market continuity, scenario 2 में यहाँ पे 150% से rejection लेके market is trying to continue the allocation of 200%, correct? So अभी यहाँ पे majorly आपको एक चीज focus करनी चाहिए, वो क्या है? Right, हमने सिनेरियोस अलोकेट किया, मूवमेंट स्ट्रक्चर अलोकेट किया, वेल एंड गुड, मार्केट डायरेक्शन में मूव हो रही है. बट अगर नोटिस कर रहे हो, कोई भी मेरे को बताया नहीं आप लोगों ने कि मिनिमलिटी जोन ऑफ एक्शन बिल्ट है. कहाँ पे मिनिमलिटी जोन ऑफ एक्शन बिल्ट है? इन दिस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन, राइट? 100% सरप्लस सप्लाई में ही मिनिमलिटी जोन है, राइट? When there is a minimality zone of action, what will market try to do? Market will give a movement of 150% and 200% rejection. Right, always remember that. Don't try to overthink. Let the market give the indication. With the indication, execution simple. Right, this was our 100%, but we had a minimality zone in the action. When there is a minimality zone in the action, what is the plans that we'll be looking for? 150% at first. With the 150%, 200% will be the next, correct? So with this, at the current state of action, where is market trying to be? market is in the same zone of action. With the same zone of action, the major action plan of daily time frame swing will change for my TP2. And मेरा TP2 first कहाँ पे था? मेरा first TP2 was at 3262 पे थी. 3262 के बाद my second TP2 will be at 3360. राइट, मैथमेटिकल कैलकुलेशंस अलाइनमेंट करो, स्विंग लो ये होगा, स्विंग हाई ये होगा, रिट्रेसमेंट पॉइंट ये वाला. राइट, योर 1.618 लेवल विल बी एट 3360. उसके साथ ही मूवमेंट एक्शन प्लान डेवलपमेंट को देखने को मिलेगी. उससे पहले हमको डेली कैंडल में विक जनरेट होते हुए चाहिए, वरना नो ट्रेड ऑफ एक्शन विल बी लुक्ड एट करेंट स्टेट. राइट, उसके साथ लेट्स कम डाउन टू 4 hours. What do we notice in 4 hours? Market is in a beautiful movement. With the beautiful movement, plan of action. What is the second step that we'll be looking over here? Second step of plan of action will be through the previous, correct? So यहाँ पे मेरा previous supply allocation point कौन सा है? 1. Let's mark out the same. Do we have a minimality zone in the action? Yes. When there is a minimality zone in the action, target is directly 150% and 200%. What do we notice over here? Do we have a rejection over here at this point? This is 200%. With the 200%, 150% market, right? So 150 is here. दोनों point of action से हमको rejection मिला. Yes. When there is a rejection and a break, जब भी minimality zone of action create होती है, हमेशा एक चीज याद रखना. First understanding is, do we have the pressure? जब movement develop होती है 200 को, एंड 200% में अगर आपके पास रिजेक्शन पॉइंट नहीं है, विद द रिजेक्शन पॉइंट मूवमेंट अलोकेशन डेवलप होते हुए नहीं दिखी है, S1 B1 या S2 B2 सेटअप्स नहीं दिखी है, राइट, B2 एंड B1 सेटअप्स नहीं दिखी है, तो डेफिनेटली मार्केट विल बी इन द सरप्लस प्लान ऑफ एक्शन. सरप्लस प्लान ऑफ एक्शन मतलब मार्केट विल ट्राई टू मूव इन द डायरेक्शन इन द कंप्लीशन ऑफ डेली टाइम फ्रेम टारगेट्स. इन दिस सिनेरियो मेरा 200% हिट हुआ, तो मेरा सरप्लस मूवमेंट एक्शन प्लान क्या पे है यहाँ पे? दिस विल एक्ट एज माय सरप्लस मूवमेंट. Right, when the surplus movement is taken in the plan, what is the step of action 1? The step of action 1 is taken under the consideration of the previous, क्योंकि हमारे पास यहाँ पे break of structure develop नहीं हुई थी. When there is a break of structure non-development zone, market will complete the 100% and we have a rejection. Rejection कितना होना चाहिए? जितना मेरा previous demand action plan में है, उतना ही rejection मेरे को यहाँ पे दिखने को मिलना चाहिए. At this state of action, does my demand matching? Yes, मेरा demand match हो रही है, right? With that continuity में movement कहाँ तक जाएगा? Definitely हमारे पास level of allocations है, 4 hours का है, daily time frame का है, but continuity of the movement कहाँ पे देखने को मिलेगा? At the current state of action, do we have a surplus count? Surplus count movement का POI range कौन सा है? The POI range action point is this. So this will act as my first supply, first new supply, right? Which will be taking it from the body because there is no break of structure. जब break of structure नहीं होता है, market definitely allocate होता है body के साथ. Retracement कितना generate हुआ है? फिर से POI का last candle will act as your retracement. In this scenario, this one. Right, with this point of interest market में rejection कितना मिला मेरे को? Same. अभी market कहाँ तक continuity में जाना चाहिए? As per my previous supply. In this scenario, this is my previous supply allocation. Break of structure है, so wick के साथ allocate करता हूँ. With the wick allocation point, what do we see? 100% closure. With the 100% closure, continuity. राइट, मार्केट इज एट 200% रेंज. अगर मेरे को यहाँ से मार्केट कंटिन्यूटी में ऊपर के लिए जाते हुए दिखना है, तो मेरे को फर्स्ट ये इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन में विक क्रिएट होते हुए चाहिए, क्योंकि विदाउट a proper liquidity spot on, the market will never tend to move, especially that too in gold. Right, that plan of action is generated. उस plan of action के साथ ही next movement allocation देखेंगे हम. right? With that continuity, we will come down to 1 hour, right? With the 1 hour point of actions, what are the major things that you will be noticing? कल के दिन पूरा market एक जोन ऑफ एक्शन में था, उस जोन ऑफ एक्शन के साथ मूवमेंट कंटिन्यूटी में आई थी, राइट? जाके इंट्राडे का वीडियो देख लो या स्विंग ट्रेडिंग का वीडियो देख लो, आप लोगों को समझ में आ जाएगा टारगेट्स क्या था हमारा एंड मार्केट कितना मूवमेंट आई है स्विंग ट्रेड में भी एंड इंट्राडे में भी, राइट? विद द सेम प्लान ऑफ एक्शन, मार्केट अभी इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन में क्या डेवलप किया है? At first range of action, do we have a minimality zone? Yes, towards the short, we do have a minimality zone, right? This is my previous demand of POI range. With the POI range, Monday के दिन market में एक zone of action create किया था, उसके साथ एक छोटा सा minimality gap down develop की थी, उस gap down के साथ market tend to continue the movement, right? जब मिनिमलिटी जोन ऑफ एक्शन होता है, मार्केट में कितना मूवमेंट डेवलप होती है? 100%, 150% and 200%, right? These are the two action plans which will be taken under the consideration at the current state. Do we have a 200% rejection? Yes, we have a 200% rejection. With the 200% rejection, do we have a circulating supply? Definitely yes, we had a circulating supply, right? जब सर्कुलेटिंग सप्लाई डेवलप होते हुए दिखिए, व्हाट आर द मेजर स्टेप्स व्हिच विल बी टेकन अंडर द कंसिडरेशन? जो मेरा प्रीवियस एक्शन पॉइंट है, हाउ विल बी द अलोकेशन? मंडे का फर्स्ट लिक्विडिटी जोन, राइट? ये मेरा फर्स्ट एक्शन प्लान होता है एट 1 hour allocation at 200%. Do we again have a minimality zone in the plan? Yes, definitely we have a minimality zone. Minimality zone के साथ क्या मार्केट कंटिन्यूटी में मूव किया? Yes, definitely. क्या मैं यहाँ पे एग्जिट करूंगा? नहीं, मार्केट विल ऑलवेज कंटिन्यू द मूवमेंट फॉर 150 एंड 200, right? When market tend to continue at 150 and 200, what do we notice? We notice a movement which has been carry forwarded, right? When there is a carry forward movement, what is the first plan of action which will be taken under the consideration? The first plan of action will be always through the previous, right? In this scenario, what is the markings that I will be looking for? Allocation point number one of 1 hour time frame, minimality के साथ continuity, right? In this point, what do we notice? 200% breakthrough. When there is a 200% breakthrough, हमें क्या लेना चाहिए? Surplus movement. Surplus movement क्या है हमारा at the current stage? Is of entire movement of 150% breakdown. अगर notice कर रहे हो, मैं यहाँ पे रख के दिखाता हूँ. Do we have a 150% breakdown? Minimality zone यहाँ पे है, 150% breakdown यहाँ पे है. So in the continuity structure, we will look for the next, right? So surplus movement allocate किए, surplus movement के साथ plotting, with the plotting action, the movement continuity, with the movement continuity, 200% rejection, right? So this is the surplus that we have to be looking each and every time in the movements, right? अगर ये plan of action develop होते हुए नहीं दिखी है, so you don't look for a second round of execution. Okay, जब second round of execution नहीं दिखता है, what is the next step? Execution point 15 minutes. 15 minutes में आएंगे. What is the structure that we are looking? We are having a POI range over here. With the POI range, what is the minimal range of actions that we'll be looking? Minimal range of actions matlab every inside liquidity will be taken under the consideration at this point. One, second inside liquidity, with the second inside liquidity, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seven, eight, right? So till here there was no plan of action. This was a movement action which was taken under the consideration of the yesterday's. Post the price actional point, there was a POI range built. With this POI range, let's mark out the level of action plan, right? So this is the zone of act which will be taken under the consideration with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So this is how you identify inside liquidity in the moment. राइट जब भी मार्केट में इनसाइड लिक्विडिटी डेवलप होते हुए दिखती है हमेशा याद रखना जो भी नियरेस्ट स्विंग पॉइंट ऑफ अलोकेशन होता है वहां तक मूवमेंट डेवलप होते हुए दिखेगी नो डाउट अबाउट इट द मार्केट विल ऑलवेज टेंड टू गिव यू अ मूवमेंट राइट एंड हमेशा याद रखना मैथमेटिकल नंबर्स के पास एशियन सेशन में टू पॉइंट्स की मैग्नेटिक एरिया होगी लंदन एंड न्यूयॉर्क सेशन में 4 पॉइंट्स की मैग्नेटिक एरिया होगी BTC में 200 पॉइंट्स की मैग्नेटिक एरिया होगी इन एशियन सेशन लंदन एंड न्यूयॉर्क सेशन में 400 पॉइंट्स की मैग्नेटिक एरिया होगी okay this is the plan of action which we look into the current state of movement plan so this is our goal whatever doubts you guys are having please do let me know so that I can re-explain and evaluate the movement sir seventh रह गया inside the liquidity कहाँ पे है oh sorry my bad thank you Patel मिल गया और एक भी पेंडिंग है रुको थैंक यू सो मच फॉर रिमाइंडिंग गुड आई कांटेक्ट थैंक यू whatever doubts you guys are having please do ask 'नेक्स्ट विल स्टार्ट विद BTC बट उससे पहले डाउट्स जो भी है पूछ लेना 3130 3130 pips running in gold thank you so much for teaching and helping out to hold the trades from ninth till date no worries sir keep learning keep growing okay so at this point of action I think you guys are not having the doubts if you want the marking definitely I will do the marking as per the color recommendation but usse pehle we will complete the BTC as well great Ranjit so coming down to BTC so in BTC right gold में भी same marking ही करेंगे explanation I'll do it in black then I'll come down to coloring okay so starting from daily candle right what is the major point of interest that you will be looking over here right the major point of interest starting point हमेशा याद रखिए कि POI range से allocation होना चाहिए in this zone of action ये मेरा POI range था उसके बाद inducement range कहाँ पे generate हुई थी इस point of action में correct with this inducement what is the plan of action जो हमें देख के चलना चाहिए at the current state allocation perspective is always from the previous point right previous point of allocation कैसे identify होगा in the spectrum of the new point in the spectrum of the new point मतलब जब भी range of action develop हुई है inducement के साथ plan of action will be taken under the consideration at this state. So this is my plan of action. With the plan of action 100% closure, 100% closure के साथ movement develop होते हुए दिखी थी, correct? जब movement develop होते हुए दिखी थी, what will be my next step of action plan? Internal liquidity point. At this state, where is my internal liquidity point? This one. With the internal liquidity point demand allocation, the entire demand allocating point will act as my surplus. Excuse me. जब surplus movement action plan develop होते हुए दिखती है, what is my first plan of indication will be always the structure allocation from S2B1 setup. जब S2B1 setup के साथ allotment होती है, right? With the allotment body closure at the same spot, with the body closure supply develop होते हुए दिखिए, with the supply development retrace कितना होगा जब भी movement action plan में है, जो मेरा previous supply develop होते हुए दिखिए है, वो मेरा current demand act करेगा, right? In this scenario, ये जो movement है, that will act as my retracement in the long side. So यहाँ पे allocation point कौन सा होगा? This two green candles will act as my retracement point. Let's mark and check whether the market tend to take the rejection as per the requirements. Yes, it did. Right? With that continuity, allocation point break of structure है. Break of structure के साथ spectrum allocation with the spectrum allocation movement clarity. Right? Where did the market tend to take the rejection from? Market exactly supply zone of action के साथ continuity में break दी थी. अभी जैसे ही हमारा मेजर एक्शन प्लान मिल गया, व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट स्टेप दैट विल बी फॉलोइंग? द नेक्स्ट स्टेप ऑफ एक्शन प्लान दैट विल बी फॉलोइंग इज डिमांड रेंज ऑफ एक्शन, क्योंकि सेलिंग प्रेशर बहुत आई थी मार्केट में फ्रॉम लास्ट मंथ, राइट? विद दिस प्लान ऑफ एक्शन मेरा फर्स्ट रेंज ऑफ एक्शन कैसे आइडेंटिफाई होगा? द फर्स्ट रेंज ऑफ एक्शन प्लान विल बी आइडेंटिफाइड थ्रू द प्रीवियस, right? In this scenario, this will act as my new. With that, what do we notice? At the end of the month, we had a minimality zone in the action. When there is a minimality zone in the action, 150% and 200% rejection. Okay, rejection and continue. Market tend to take a rejection board. With the rejection board, there is a breakthrough. With the breakthrough, continuity. When there is a continuity of the movement, what is the next plan that will be acting as? The entire movement of the surplus zone. मतलब minimality में जो surplus zone of action है, that will act as my next. At this point, we have a 100% rejection. When we have a 100% rejection, what is the step? Post retracement point allocation, right? With the post allocation point retracement, what do we notice? We notice a break and continue. With the break and continue, we have a closure, so we will look for 150% rejection. क्या मार्केट ने यहाँ पे 150% से रिजेक्शन लेते हुए दिखी है हमें? Yes. With this rejection point, what is the next step? Allocation of movement towards the long. Right? Long movement allocate करने के लिए मेरा first action plan क्या होना चाहिए? मेरा first action plan यहाँ पे मैं रिट्रेसमेंट का सप्लाई लूंगा या मूवमेंट का सप्लाई लूंगा? मैं यहाँ पे मूवमेंट का सप्लाई लूंगा. At this current stage, this is my first movement in the action towards the bullish. ये सब is a retracement supply, so I'll not take under the consideration because first allocation point will be always the same, right? Marking will not be from the wick, it will be from the body. Okay. Once the break of structure is done and continued, then we will look for the wick allocations, right? At this state of action, if I look for a wick allocation because there is a break of structure, with the break of structure, where do you notice the market is taking the rejection from? Market is taking the rejection from 200%, right? With the 200% allocation point, what are the next steps? Mathematical calculations. Let's come down to 4 hours and do the mathematical calculations, right? At this point of action, each and every zone is acting with my exact movement plan. जब मेरा movement plan के साथ market act out करता है, what will be my first step of actions that will be working on? The first action plan जो हम काम करने वाले हैं is on to the minimality zone of actions. So identification of minimality zones of actions in the movement plan, the surplus movement action will be taken under the consideration to the previous. In this point of action, ये मेरा movement है, correct? In the bullish side with the bullish side action plan. This is my first lot. Market took a rejection, right? With the rejection continuity. So my reallocation will be post the retracement point, right? So with the retracement point of action, market took a rejection and continued with this continuity 200% break. Do we have a rejection at 200%? Yes, we have a 200% rejection, right? जब 200% rejection develop हुई है, so मेरा next plan of action क्या होना चाहिए at the current stage, right? My next plan of action is identifying this demand. मेरा demand range of action first step क्या होगा? Inducement range and POI contact. मतलब इस point of action में this will act as my inducement range with the inducement range continuity. Exact rejection. With this exact rejection, we had a continue follow through. When there is a continue follow through, your first action plan will be your previous. In this state of action, do we take it from the wick? No, first from the body. Once the break of structure is done, then we'll look for the wick, right? So at this state of actions, what is the state that market is trying to indicate? Market 200% से rejection लिया. With the 200% rejection, market tend to continue. When there is a continuity, what is the step of action plan that will be taken under the consideration? Your previous supply will act as your new supply, right? So this supply will taken under the marking at the current stage. With the marking point, what do we notice over here? We have a minimality zone in the action. When there is a minimality zone in the action, the moment allocation will be of 150 and 200%, right? So always remember, whenever there is a minimality, make sure you allocate it at a right point so that you don't miss out on the right movement plans, right? So definitely daily time frame से rejection ले रहा है, but 4 hours का एक major liquidity point is still pending at 150 minimality and 200% minimality, right? When 200% and 150 minimality is taken under the considerations, what are the next steps? Mathematical numbers. With the mathematical numbers, first will be swing low, swing high, and retracement. On the break of 200% of the mathematical precisions, तब जाके हम next plan of action देखेंगे in the continuity of the spectrum. Then we'll come down to 1 hour. In 1 hour, what do we notice? Market was in the zone of action from 12th. From 12th, what is the major allocation point that we are looking? Selling pressure, selling pressure, selling pressure, selling pressure. राइट कल के दिन में मेजर सेलिंग प्रेशर आई थी उसके साथ कंटिन्यूटी ऑफ द मूवमेंट डेवलप हुआ था रिजेक्शन कितना लिया first action point will be taken under the consideration with liquidity calibration. And what is liquidity calibration? Whenever in 1 hour you see a green candle and coverage of the red candle as per the movement of the green candle, this will be called as liquidity calibration. This is identified only in 1 hour, right? Agar same scenario, market is in the bearish trend, a red candle and exact coverage of green candle is coming, just make sure that market has come down to hunt down the liquidity, right? With that plan of action, market will tend to continue for a zone. With the liquidity zone of action, the market will reverse from the point. So that is what liquidity calibration does at each and every zone of action, and it should be identified only in 1 hour, right? In this plan of action, what do you notice? Market took a break. It was a bullish movement. सरप्लस क्रिएट किया, सरप्लस क्रिएट करके मूवमेंट लॉन्ग की तरफ दिखाई, उसके बाद द फॉलो थ्रू. In the follow through, first action step will be taken under the consideration of the previous. What do we notice? There is a break of structure, so we'll take it from the wick. With the wick calculation, 150% and 200% rejection. At this state of action, where is market trying to take the rejection from? 150%. If the continuity breaks, it comes down to 200%, right? So this is the action plan of BTC 1 hour. So what are the major step of actions that you will be looking over here? Definitely our allocation is done. With the allocation point, one major thing we have left out with, right? What are the setups that market is currently following and doing? Right at this stage, market नीचे आने के लिए कौन सा setup use किया था? S to B1 setup. राइट? इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन में ऊपर जाने के लिए एस टू बी टू सेटअप, फॉलो थ्रू में नीचे आने के लिए द मूवमेंट एक्शन प्लान ऑफ एस टू बी वन सेटअप. Definitely, we are not trading here for 100 points or 200 points. हमारा always target is above 1500 points, right? MTSL point will be at 800 points. So the allocation points हमारा always spot on होना चाहिए, because you're not a person who are trading for 100 or 200 points, because your time is more valuable than your 100 points. Okay. So at this state of action, we identified the movement structure. With the movement structure, long का भी देख लेते हैं. Why the movement got developed? Where is the POI range at the current state? This is the POI range in the current state. Right? This will be my first marking. With that, where is the calibration movement? The calibration movement was at this point. Right? So this is not a POI. This is a candle movement. Candle movement will be taken under the consideration point of the next. What will we be doing? We'll not take the wick because there is no break of structure. And what will be the retracement? Retracement will be as per the POI range. With the POI range continuity, what did market tend to showcase over here? The market tend to showcase a movement and breakthrough. With the movement and breakthrough, 150% rejection. With 150% rejection, we have a 200% rejection, right? So magnetic areas are always kept in mind in spectrum of Asian session, 200 points, right? In this range of conduct, the market has not even taken a break of 150 points. So yes, this will be a right calibrating point, right? So once the calibration is identified, what is the next steps which will be taken under the consideration? The next step will be taken under the consideration of previous. Right? With the previous point of action, market has given a movement. With the movement plan, what is the next step which will be taken under the point? 15 minutes. 15 minutes point of allocation will be looked into the movement plan of the new. How do you look into the new movement plan at the current state? Definitely कल के दिन में हमारे पास यहाँ पे reversal zone of conduct generate हुई थी with the selling pressure. With the selling pressure allocation point, what is the first step taken under the consideration? The moment. Retracement कितना आएगा? From the bullish to bearish. यहाँ पे supply converted into demand चाहिए हमें. So यहाँ पे demand converted into supply कहाँ पे दिख रही है at the current state? This is the demand which will act as my current. In this scenario, market took a break. With the break and continuity, 150% and 200% rejection. Post that, what is the spectrum that market followed? Each and every point, there is a break and continuity. First step of action plan, 150% and 200% range. Did the market completed my 150 and 200% range over here? This is my 100 with the 100, 200. Right, let's check it out. What did market tend to do at this point? Do we have a 200% rejection? When there is a 200% rejections, what are the step of action plan? फर्स्ट आइडेंटिफिकेशन आपका हमेशा होगा कि मार्केट में क्या बाइंग आई है या सेलिंग. क्या अगर इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन में बाइंग प्रेशर हमें दिखी है? नहीं. When there is no buying pressure allocation, do we look towards the long? No. We wait for the setup. And majorly 1 hour में कौन सा setup हमें majorly चाहिए होगा? Threshold. External liquidity point. Once the external liquidity point is developed, then the next step of action will be taken under the consideration, right? But at this point of action, what do we see? There is a break. With the break continuity, what do we notice? Where is the nearest POI range of action, right? This is my nearest POI range of action. So this will be my surplus point of interest, which will market tend to work on. At this range, this is the candle allocation point of demand. So this will act as my first demand. With the first demand, second. With the second demand, third. With the third demand, we have a minimality. With the minimality zone of action, 150% and 200%. Right? So this should be your plan of action in allocation. This should be your plan of action in allocating the movements. Okay, both important hai. This is how market works. Don't just look in for the trades randomly. रैंडम ट्रेड्स मत लो, रूल्स फॉलो करो, रूल्स फॉलो करके डायरेक्शंस में बने रहो. At this stage, we do see a movement which is in the action plan. Again, the first action plan will be taken under the consideration of POI. At this state, what is the movement that we are having in the POI range? This one. So this will act as my first surplus supply. With the supply continuity, supply converted into demand. Yeah, okay, the last supply was this. So this will act as my demand at the current state, right? With the completion of the demand, what did market tend to do? Market tend to complete and move with the movement. Do we have a break of structure? Yes. With the break of structure allocation, with the allocation point, what is the next step that we'll be looking for? The next allocation point will be into the next 150% and 200% rejection. At this range of action, this could be my small reversal zone of action. Any doubts in BTC, guys? Please do ask if there is any doubts. स्ट्रीम अर्ली स्टार्ट हो गई सर, इसलिए पूछा. नो, इवनिंग सेशन नहीं होगा आज. I'll be flying. Good morning, Usman. किसी को भी कोई भी डाउट है मार्केट के रिगार्डिंग, प्लीज डू आस्क एंड डोंट हेजिटेट टू आस्क द डाउट्स. ओके, वी आर ऑलवेज हियर टू हेल्प यू आउट एंड वी आर हियर टू हेल्प यू ग्रो. एक चीज याद रखना, सो डोंट हेजिटेट व्हाइल यू आर लर्निंग. But only one thing that I'll be asking is please do ask questions. Without asking questions or doubts, you guys will not be able to understand what I am teaching over here, right? Sir, BTC now in rejected form down. Next, what happens? Next, you will wait for the buying or selling pressure. So till the time market doesn't create a buying or selling pressure, no allocation will be taken under the consideration. Am I clear, Ranjit? Always make sure that when you're doing a back testing or forward testing, write down the notes. With writing down the notes, you will be able to identify the exact movement allocation point for a recalibration zones. Recalibration zones जब भी आइडेंटिफाई होता है तब एक ही चीज को नोटिस करना होगा, क्या है वो, क्या मार्केट मेरा जोन ऑफ कंडक्ट में है या नहीं. अगर मेरा जोन ऑफ कंडक्ट में है, देन व्हाट इज द प्लान. Right, market is moving towards the long with S1 S2 B1 setup. कंटिन्यूटी में मूवमेंट अलोकेशन देखने को मिलती है. होल्ड ऑन टिल 3280 as the first action plan at the current state. बट मार्केट में अभी तक डेली कैंडल में विक जनरेट नहीं हुआ है. तो once you see a selling pressure, please do look for an MTSL point or else the rezone of action points. Okay, जब तक शॉर्ट की तरफ S2 सेटअप्स क्रिएट नहीं होते, no execution will be taken under the consideration. Am I clear? बैंक निफ्टी 300 पॉइंट्स गैप अप ओपन हुई है. निफ्टी 15. सो प्लीज इस हफ्ते इंडियन मार्केट्स में शांत हो जाओ. मंडे से देखो ट्रेडिंग. Pressure is important in that allocation. Yes, always pressure are important. At this current state, keeping in mind daily time frame पे हमको wick create करना है short term में. But at this stage, buying pressure. Right? Till the time the selling pressure isn't generated, we won't look for a short trade for the daily wick creation. Right? Daily wick creation जब generate होगा तब देखेंगे. The new members, 1.5 years of back testing, 1.5 years of forward relay bar testing. With that, 1 month of live analysis. With 1 month of live analysis, come with a small value, build the confidence following the proper risk to reward, and compound the values from that point of action. Protect your capital and make sure that you don't lose it. Okay? Whatever doubts you guys are having, let it be a newbie, beginner, advanced, कोई भी लोग है पूछ सकते हो, प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. I'm not speaking only. From where will the voice come? Good morning, Venkat. How are you? Guys, start doing the back testing. With the back testing, forward relay bar testing. With the forward relay bar testing, live analysis. Okay. आज के दिन में भूल जाओ. Till Monday, please no executions in Nifty और बैंक निफ्टी. इंडियन सेशंस को थोड़ा रेस्ट दो क्योंकि कल होने के बाद फ्राइडे फिर से छुट्टी है. So please don't lose the capital. Beautiful. ऑलमोस्ट इनसाइडर लिक्विडिटी का टारगेट हिट होने वाली है. Give it up. So this is how I want you guys to do the analysis, right? आपने क्या देखा, हमने क्या सुना, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है अंजलि, जब तक अकाउंट में पैसा आ रहा है. वन एटी पिप्स रनिंग. डजंट मैटर. गाइस एंड वन मोर थिंग, आज इवनिंग में स्ट्रीम नहीं होगी. ओके. उसके बदले में डेफिनेटली एक वीडियो डाल दे. ब्यूटीफुल गाइस. 100 pips in 30 minutes. लाइव स्ट्रीम की बात करो. इनसाइडर लिक्विडिटी टारगेट हिट होने में 30 pips more to go. All the new members, welcome to the channel. जो भी doubts है, please do ask. With asking doubts, do 1.5 years of back testing, 1.5 years of forward relay bar testing, and 1 month of live analysis. Then execute the trades, not prior to that. Because learning is just 2 months process. Mindset, building patience, calmness, being in the directions, not executing in FOMOs, uncertainty trades, right? FOMO executions and running candle executions control करने में 3 to 4 months की time जाएगी. So it's a process of 6 months. So please, I request you all to give me that 6 months. Yes, keeping in mind, we have completed 217. $148 more million years left. Post this 148 number, we will be closing the live streaming. Who was 217? Richard. Richard Agarwal. Stream will be there for next 45 minutes. Whatever doubts you guys are having, please do ask. सॉरी आप लोगों को इंटीमेशन नहीं आई थी शायद. स्ट्रीम आज जल्दी शुरू हुई है. Sir, which amount you will consider they want to start to become millionaires? We don't consider what value you are starting with. We only consider whether you have completed or not. Beautiful. 2 more points for completion of 150 pips. मेरे को इससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता है कि आप 1,000 रुपए से स्टार्ट कर रहे हो, 10,000 से स्टार्ट कर रहे हो, 1 लाख से स्टार्ट कर रहे हो, 10 लाख से स्टार्ट. मुझे सिर्फ एक ही चीज का फर्क पड़ता है, वो है आप कितना शिद्दत से सीख रहे हो एंड क्या कहाँ पे एग्जीक्यूट कर रहे हो. These are the only two things what I am currently looking for. Okay. Because we have proofs, people have started from $300, people have started from $100, people have started from 5,000 rupees, people have started from 2,000 rupees, people have started from 1,000 rupees. And the best journey till date is of, I do know everyone's journey is the best, But the millionaire number 173 started from just 1,000 rupees. Sorry. What will be the next plan of action? First buying pressure of the day will be your next plan of action. In this scenario, अगर ब्रेक होके कंटिन्यू होता है, ज्यादा लंबा मत देखो. आज के दिन की फर्स्ट सप्लाई विल बी योर नेक्स्ट प्लान ऑफ एक्शन. ठीक है? In this scenario, this will act as your current. We have a break of structure with the break of structure allocation. Sir, can we have chat with the person number 173? Definitely, Venkat. You learn, start executing, develop the mindset, build the trading style. Post that, I will get him. I will do a podcast only with him. Oh, sorry, we can't do the podcast. I can't showcase the face. But yeah, definitely I will figure out a play to have a interaction. Q&A kar sak, right? Before that, the only thing I will ask you is do that. What he has done. Post that we'll do this. I don't have a problem. From 1 to 217, whichever number you say, I will bring them. Right? The only thing is you guys have to first learn, execute, then we will. बिना कुछ मेहनत किए ही सब कुछ चाहिए तो वो कैसे दे सकता हो बोलो. Number 1 to 10 people are in the live stream only. First 10 millionaires are still in the live stream. Keeping in mind they are in LTD as well. उसमें से एक बंदा तुम्हारे ऊपर ही है, तुम्हारा लास्ट मैसेज के ऊपर जो मैसेज किया. Beautiful. Internal liquidity spot on. With the internal liquidity, insider liquidity closure. With the insider liquidity, the first red candle is been allotted. The red candle allotment should be in the continuity of S2B1. Second candle closure के साथ continuity में आती है, then we will look for a move on point. Okay. Sir, Venkat, your first problem was you wanted to have the knowledge from basic, right? And you said you were trading from 3 years. You didn't had a knowledge of any of the trades what you were executing. Right here, I taught you the basic also. Post that also, you didn't do the back testing. You're not doing the forward relay bar testing. With the forward relay bar testing, you're not doing the live analysis. Every day, I see only one thing you do is, shall I look for a long or shall I look for a short? Right? Which we are not entertaining. Even then, you want this privilege to be asked, how will that work? Right? Everything can't be given or spoon feeded, right? There should be hard work at first place. Once you start doing the hard work, then definitely you will get the smart work in the play. But without doing the hard work, how will you understand the points of smart work? Good morning, Jason. Right? Venkat, say me one thing. So you wanted to buy a car, right? Will you go directly buy a car without knowing to drive? No. Okay, definitely you might be hire a diver if your point of interest of talking will be different, right? But without knowing the knowledge of what car do you want to buy, you have money, no doubt. Will you directly buy a BMW when you don't have a knowledge of driving a normal sedan or SUV? No, right? Because the investment over here is 30 lakhs, but the investment over here is 3 crores, right? First, you will learn how to drive. Then you will understand what are the mechanics. Then you will understand what is the horsepower. Then you will understand what is the torque which has been generated. Then you will understand the perspective of what is the wheel inches, what is the ground clearance, right? What is the top 100 speed closure? Is it 0 to 3 seconds or is it 0 to 2.5 seconds, right? बिना ये सब जाने तुम कार खरीदोगे, then they will say you पैसा बहुत है, खरीदा है. But if you are a car lover, right? Definitely car lovers have damn money, right? जो imagination आप किए भी नहीं होंगे उतना पैसा उनके पास रहता है, right? उनको जाके पूछो what is his car about? They will talk about the car with the specifications because they know the basics of that car. So same like that trading is. Without knowing the trading, right? If you want to earn the money, how will you do it? तुक्केबाजी से. तुक्केबाजी से एक दिन ठीक है, 2 दिन ठीक है, 3 दिन ठीक है. फोर्थ डे क्या करोगे? जैसे हम आपका 22 डेज अभी तक कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है। अभी तक आपका बैक टेस्टिंग कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है, बैक टेस्टिंग कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है, उसके बाद फॉरवर्ड टेस्टिंग है, उसके बाद फॉरवर्ड टेस्टिंग होने के बाद 1 महीने की लाइव एनालिसिस है, राइट? कंप्लीट फॉरवर्ड टेस्टिंग, देन लुक फॉर द नेक्स्ट। सर आई एम ऑन द स्ट्रीम फ्रॉम मार्च 20th। चेक कर लो कितना स्ट्रीम हुआ है करके। आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग इन पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ एक दिन में दो स्ट्रीम, एक दिन में दो स्ट्रीम मिला के एक दिन होता है, ठीक है? इन दैट पर्सपेक्टिव आई एम टॉकिंग। हाउ डू यू नो वरुण? There is one trade running from 20th, sir. So फर्स्ट एक चीज को तो माहिर कर लो, जैसा फर्स्ट इंट्राडे को तो माहिर कर लो। इंट्राडे में ही आपको 250 300 पिप्स की मूवमेंट्स मिलती है। Then slow and steadily you will move to the next step, right? Swing trading के लिए the major plan of action is always taken under the consideration of the movements with the intraday movement, right? अगर दोनों एक ही साथ में सीखना है तो वो नहीं हो पाएगा कभी भी। Okay, thank you to let me know RB 19. Okay. So just wondering, when did you start this machine to create 365 millionaires? Why 365? What motivates you for this streams? What motivates me to stream? First place, definitely I had 1 or 2 hours of my daily time in the free lineup, so I thought not to waste that lineup. So 365 million years mission was started in 2023, right? Implemented in 2024, carry forwarded in 2025. And YouTube क्यों पूछ रहे हो करके बोल रहे हो तो because there are very few who teach right knowledge. Rest all is here to sell courses in YouTube. I'm not saying selling courses is bad, but wrong selling courses is definitely harmful. Okay. And if you're asking what motivates me, dude, you're asking a person who gets up in the morning at 3 o'clock, sleeps at 10:30. The only motivation and mantra of life is live happily today. Forget about tomorrow. If you're happy and learning today, definitely your tomorrow will be better. And with this, the add on mantra what I follow is what you are yesterday, be better than that today. This is the only two mantras what I follow to keep myself motivated. Hey Raghav, welcome to the stream. Good morning. I'm new 2 days, I'm following you. Keep learning and keep growing, man. Whatever doubts you get, please do ask. Don't hesitate. How long are you trading from? Mm-hmm. 8 months. Your mind is stable, your knowledge perspective couldn't harm you at the current stage. Please learn the right things and with right things continue in the life. Okay. Great, it's still 8 months. Stream will be there for next 30 minutes. Whatever doubts you guys are having, please do ask. And आज की evening session नहीं होगी, उसके बदले में will drop a video for you guys. And Raghav, as you're 8 months into the trading, only one thing I will suggest you, go to Home tab, complete MC section, post completing MC section, supply and demand section, post completion of supply and demand, come to liquidity and volume due, complete that, and start the back testing. Okay. Guys, is you guys are okay with 8 o'clock streaming? 8:30 streaming in the morning? क्योंकि कल से मेरे पास 8 o'clock की स्लॉट फ्री है. हाँ, टाइम इंक्रीज नहीं होगा. 3 o'clock तक ही होगी. मीन्स 3 hours उसके साथ. 9 को शुरू करेंगे तो भी 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours. 8 को शुरू करेंगे तो भी 2 to 3 hours ही होगा. ओके. यस यस यस. ग्रेट. Mr. Sahu, good morning. You haven't asked me any doubts till date, man. Are you doing the back testing? Are you doing the forward testing? What is the status of your learning? No updates. 8 to 11. Yes, 2 to 3 hours, depending on the movements. Definitely, Asian session will be getting a nice movement of around somewhere between 100 to 200 pips in gold, right? Somewhere around 500 to 1500 in BTC. So that must work for you guys, because at the current state also, if you notice, this is the live stream trade running with 500 points. 180 pips. Still understanding the concept. Okay, great. Whatever doubt you get, please do ask. Okay, don't hesitate. Hut Bojani. Mr. Patel, ट्रिलियन भी तुम्हारा ही है ना? ट्रिलियन 55. यस सर, आप मिलियनियर बनाते हैं, मैं सीधा ट्रिलियनियर पहुंचूंगा. पहुंचिए ना. आई विल बी द हैप्पीएस्ट पर्सन. बट आज तक कोई नहीं पहुंचा है. The first person on the white paper book will be Elon Musk, who will be reaching in next 10 years. अगर जिंदा रहा तो. Right, definitely the sheikhs of Dubai, they have it, but not on papers. What about BlackRock? BlackRock manages $1 trillion funds. सबका मिला के वो मैनेज करते हैं. एंड उसका स्टाफ का अगर रिक्रूटमेंट देख लोगे ना पागल हो जाओगे. Everyone is high influenced members. So just after previous daily MC swing target in the long position, today you have shared a new swing high low and retracement. Today's towards long. Why we suddenly choose new targets towards long? We never chose a new target towards the long, right? हमारा swing target था 3262, right? With 3262, I was only waiting for one thing, that is completion and continuity. 4 hours का मिनिमलिटी जोन ऑफ एक्शन मेरा 3320 पे है, राइट. सो मैथमेटिकल कैलकुलेशंस के हिसाब से इंट्राडे का लेवल्स चेंज होता रहेगा ना. स्विंग का लेवल सेम होगी बट इंट्राडे तो चेंज होती रहेगी. एनीवन हैज एनी डाउट्स अबाउट दिस एनालिसिस गाइस? कहाँ तक मूवमेंट आएगी सर? डेली कैंडल विक क्रिएट होने तक आएगी. जाके रिवाइंड करके चेक कर लो. एक शॉट में नहीं आएगी बट डेफिनेटली आएगी जरूर. सर आई डोंट नो ये नाम किसका बनाया अकाउंट का, मेड इन 2017. सो जैसे था वैसे ही रहने दिया. नो डाउट सर. किस चीज पे नो डाउट? हम कोई ग्रुप मेंटेन नहीं करते राइट. बेल आइकॉन दबा के रखो, नोटिफिकेशन आ जाएगा. We have only one group, people who uses Exness account through our IDs. For them, we have one group. That's it. No other accounts. सर स्विंग का ही पूछ रहा हूँ. 18 दिसंबर का स्विंग कंप्लीट होने के बाद आज का न्यू लॉन्ग लिया है आफ्टर प्रीवियस कंप्लीशन. यस, बिकॉज सेलिंग प्रेशर मेरे को डेली में नहीं दिख रहा है, सो मैं नेक्स्ट पॉइंट ऑफ अलोकेशन देखूंगा ना उसमें. अगर डेली कैंडल में सेलिंग प्रेशर दिखेगा देन वी विल स्टॉप, देन वी विल लुक फॉर द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. अगर वो जोन ऑफ एक्शन आइडेंटिफिकेशन जोन में ही नहीं है, राइट, मैं जस्ट मेरे सोच के ऊपर तो मैं चेंज नहीं करूंगा ना. ओके मेरा टारगेट हिट हो गया, यहाँ से रिवर्स हो जाएगा, दैट वोंट बी द पर्सपेक्टिव, करेक्ट. क्योंकि हम माइंड ट्रेलिंग कर रहे हैं, माइंड ट्रेलिंग के साथ सिस्टम ट्रेलिंग कर रहे हैं. देयर इज अ प्रोसेस इन स्विंग ट्रेडिंग व्हेन यू आर देयर, सो यू हैव टू फॉलो दैट, राइट. सो जब तक सेलिंग प्रेशर डेली में नहीं दिखता है स्विंग के लिए, डेफिनेटली आई विल नॉट लुक फॉर शॉर्ट अलोकेशंस. कंटिन्यूटी में ही रहेगा ना 4 आवर्स का टारगेट तक. ओके उसमें एनालिसिस पर. ओके पटेल. फिर शॉर्ट्स डालना शुरू करो। शॉर्ट्स डालने के लिए मैं फ्री होना जरूरी है, क्योंकि मेरे को बना के देना है टीम को, तब जाके वो एडिट करके डालेंगे। वो बनाने को भी टाइम नहीं। बट डेफिनेटली आएगा बहुत जल्द। ओके, stream will be there for next 15 minutes. Whatever doubts you guys are having, please do ask. जितने भी लोग फोमो में बैठे थे ना लॉन्ग की तरफ, सबको उड़ाया। Usma, we are not talking about change of character. सी, डेली टाइम फ्रेम पे चेंज ऑफ कैरेक्टर की वेट करोगे तो आप 800 पिप्स की, 1000 पिप्स की, 400 पिप्स की मूवमेंट मिस कर लोगे। ओके, तो यहाँ पे हमें मेजरली चाहिए प्रेशर, सेलिंग प्रेशर, राइट? जस्ट फॉर एन एग्जांपल, यहाँ पे जिस बेसिस पे हम लॉन्ग पे थे, सेलिंग प्रेशर के बेसिस पे, करेक्ट? सो इफ यू नोटिस, बाइंग प्रेशर है, मार्केट ऊपर गया। डेली में वैसे ही हमें सेलिंग प्रेशर्स चाहिए, तब जाके चेंज ऑफ मूवमेंट दिखने को मिलेगी, राइट? As we expected, we wanted a selling pressure, we got a selling pressure, continuity in the movement, correct? So same चीज डेली कैंडल में भी चाहिए हमें, तब जाके मूवमेंट अलोकेट होते हुए दिखेगा, उससे पहले नहीं। Am I clear? राइट? अगर तुम चेंज ऑफ कैरेक्टर डेली टाइम फ्रेम पे वेट करोगे, योर चेंज ऑफ कैरेक्टर इज ओवर हियर, which is 1200 points, sorry, 1200 pips below. So you are saying me that you will miss this trade? No, you shouldn't be. Okay. So always look for an allocation through the previous. Okay, so now please do. Great. Good morning, alien code. अगर डेली में सेलिंग प्रेशर नहीं है, देन हम लोग सेलिंग के तरफ नहीं देखेंगे, राइट सर? स्विंग ट्रेड में नहीं देखेंगे, स्विंग ट्रेड में कंटिन्यूटी में रहेगी। इंट्राडे में देख सकते हैं, इंट्राडे में अभी भी हम शॉर्ट की तरफ क्यों है? बिकॉज डेली टाइम फ्रेम पे विक क्रिएट नहीं हुआ है, उसके वजह से ना। स्विंग ट्रेड में अगर शॉर्ट की तरफ बैठ रहे हो तो देन इट विल बी ए रॉन्ग फॉर यू। What's your name? Alien align code. 100% completed. Next target is 150% in BTC. Inducement range का movement है ये. Okay. POI रेंज में क्या देखना है चार्ट? मैं नहीं दिखाने वाला. चलो यार. खुश. So how do you look for an add-on quantity? You have not yet reached over there. So once you reach over there, definitely I will let you know. Okay. कोई भी डाउट है प्लीज पूछो. How long are you trading for? तो गलती किसकी है? तुम्हारी है मेरा? आपका है राइट. सो डोंट रिपीट द सेम मिस्टेक. ठीक है. Sir, have you taken the trade towards the short? Yeah. ID trade है MTSL के. स्विंग ट्रेड जब तक क्लोज नहीं होता है शॉर्ट स्विंग क्रिएट नहीं होगी. Beautiful guys. Next movement is for 150 pips. Sorry, 150% minimality range. कौन सा minimality? M1. There are T types of minimality: M2, M1, M2 and M3. प्लीज जाके उसके ऊपर वीडियो है इंट्राडे पे चेक कर लेना so that it will help you out. Sir, I wish you find new motivation to keep on streaming. You're changing lives for many. All you are asking is dedication. क्या लिखा? Sir, I wish you find new motivation to keep on streaming. You're changing lives for many. All you are asking is dedication. उससे ज्यादा पूछ के भी क्या करो यार. I have read Bhagavad Gita 12 times. फल की चिंता मत करो, कर्म करते चलो. फल खुद को ढूंढ के आएगी. यतो धर्मस्यो कृते न भवते. Simple and easy as that. So if someone's life is changing because of me, I'm not the one. He is the one who showed you the path to this track. That's it. Lovely. Almost there. 150% target hit होने में. Stream will be there for next 10 minutes. Whatever doubts you guys are having, please do ask. सर यहाँ पे सेकेंड पर्सपेक्टिव अलॉटमेंट देख सकते हैं, हाँ देख सकते हो ना। सेकेंड पर्सपेक्टिव अलॉटमेंट क्या है? रीअलोकेशन पर्सपेक्टिव के हिसाब से रीअलॉटमेंट ऑफ डिमांड. So this is your first demand. With the first demand, clone the procedure. With the cloning, this will be your second allotment. Break of structure है. With the break of structure alignment, with the alignment 150%. Good question, good understanding, good markings. Keep it up, Hambika. बट मिनिमलिटी जोन में 150% तक होल्ड करना भी इम्पोर्टेंट है. यस, इम्पोर्टेंट है. अगर नोटिस कर रहे हो, ये जो तुम्हारा अलाइनमेंट ऑफ न्यू एंगल है, दैट इज अलाइंड विथ एग्जैक्टली 150%, राइट? सो इन दिस सिनेरियो अगर मैं मार्क करके दिखाऊं, so always analysis will mark with your previous. So if you check, this is my exact 150%. The mark through हमेशा रहता है. The only thing you have to work is which alignment will you be taking to executing the trades. सिर्फ वो आपको फोकस पे रखना होगा, nothing else. Okay? Once you focus on that, automatically alignments will get in the play of act. Okay? Trade fearlessly, be in the directions of the market, following the proper risk to reward with following of proper risk to reward. Make sure you control on your emotions. जीतने से खुशी मनाना, हारने से दुखी हो जाना is not the quality of the traders. Carry the poker face till your mathematical targets are hit. With that, all the new members, 1.5 years of back testing, 1.5 years of forward relay bar testing, 1 month of live analysis with 1 month of live analysis. Come with a small capital, build the confidence following the proper risk to reward. With proper risk to reward, make sure you guys compound on your value, right? With this, make sure what is the next steps that you guys will be following, not blowing up the accounts, wait patiently, no FOMO trade executions, no running candle execution, sitting calmly till the directions of the market, and waiting in calmness is the most important key. Keep learning, keep enjoying. This is a process of lifelong learning. So don't hurry up the process. This is Nitesh signing off. मिलते हैं कल, तब तक के लिए take care. Bye bye.